Welcome to Soccer As We Like It, the Man United direction, the channel for United and global football fans. Today we are talking about a historical day, the day after the world of United fans literally collapsed. It was, a lot of United fans will call it doomsday, the day United's hope, the fans' hope and belief and positive activity was Mr. Sheikh Jassim was going to buy the club, finally ended yesterday, according to Fabrizio Romano. United's reality now became a nightmare. Discussing it today, representing the UK, I have the UK crew on with me. I have Vim, the analyst. How are we
hey
today,
guys.
mate?
Hey guys, how you all doing on this sad day? Very sad day.
And representing the UK, we have the smiling one. Kay, how are you, mate?
Yeah. So international weekend. So it's boring.
International break, yeah? International break.
International
time to break the bad news.
They waited for the international break for the news to be broken out. I think this thing was master planned, actually. Yeah. Because over the last couple of weeks, we had been hearing little movement. Some were saying there's been work behind the scenes, that the Glazers are close to it, and the Sheikh Jassim is close. But everything came to fruition yesterday, October the 14th, 2023. You're going to ask yourself, where was I when the Glazers, when Sheikh Jassim said he was pulling out? I was watching an international game and like, huh? What happened? It's a reality, but it's a reality check for everybody. And this is where joining us now is we haven't seen him first yet. Houston's Red Army, the one and only, the controversial one, Bemsy.
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you, mate? Happy Sunday. We can't see yet.
I think he's having some connection issues.
And then Joe is not here to put your IT ticket in.
No, I'm good. I'm trying to get my background up, so we're still working on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bems, as you know, yesterday was a dark day in the history of Man United fans globally. But
yeah.
Funny enough, I spoke to a lot of fans via text and WhatsApp. Some people were actually happy. I don't get what they're thinking. They think Sir Jim is the right man, but we're gonna dive right into it. I'm gonna start with Vim. Vim, the news of Sheikh Jassim pulling out saying he is done. He said he's increased his proposal, and yet they rejected the offer of the 100% ownership. Talk to me. Where are we? How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's they were dangling this carrot in front of us for a long time. I appreciate Jassim upping his bid. I think he made 5 bids or so. And his final bid was double the market capital valuation of Man United on the New York Stock Exchange. So he's offering double what the company is actually worth in terms of market cap value. So, for an astute businessman, for a wealthy private banker, you just don't do that. So it shows that he was keen to get the club, and I guess that it's based on inherent brand value and future brand value, because we're a giant of a club, and we would have been a giant of a club if we had gone into the right hands. But the parasitic nature of the Glazers is destroying this club, and I'm not sure what the future holds under Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I understand there's a pathway of him first buying 25% and then having full sporting control, and then a pathway to own 100% of the club and buy out the Glazers completely. But there's no guarantees that's going to happen. So it looks like the board's going to be ratifying the deal next week or so, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be in charge of our sporting venture for the next decade or so. I mean, he's already 70 years old, so let's see what he can do.
Well, thank you very much, Vim. Right. Let me bring in Bemsy. Bemsy, you've always said this, that this club is where we are. It's official. It came yesterday. Fabrizio Romano broadcast the breaking news that our only hope, the positive hope, the belief, all ended yesterday when Sheikh Jassim and his people said, we are done. How do you feel, mate? Let's go.
Man, well, I think United is dead, man. The United that we know is dead. It will never be the club that it used to be again. I'm not gonna lie, man. Yesterday just really killed me, man. It's killed my mood. And I know you're not supposed to let this thing get to you, but it kind of did. I'm not gonna lie. It was yeah, that was hard to see, man. And it was clear. There's no need to argue. There's no need to, oh, is this just a smoke screen? No, man. It is what it is. Sheikh Jassim is left the he's left the building, and is Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I think that's the worst decision ever. Um, I don't know how people feel that Sir Jim is going to be able to buy the club in 3 years or 4 years or however amount of time that he needs. He's where's the money going to come from? How's the debt going to be paid? It's this is terrible, man. It's terrible news for United, and we are no longer. I think we should consider ourselves no longer a big club anymore. That is pretty much facts. It's over. It's over.
Wow. Ooh, that was deep. Right. Kay,
sad.
the smiley one. Bez really just killed it completely. Like, you know what?
And
like
I feel like I'm going to jump off a
service.
bridge now.
Hey, the smiley one. Where are we with this? How do you stand as a United fan when you heard everything yesterday? Are you surprised or not surprised, or what how do you feel?
Unmute.
Yeah, so for me, I've always said the Glazers never wanted to fully sell the club. So Jim was always backup. They probably wanted more bidders, or more investment, but they always wanted investment. They just put the sale of the club there to appease the fans, to get them a bit happier. And they announced it on the same day when they got rid of Ronaldo. So that was almost to like get the fans that were unhappy with Ronaldo going, oh, they're selling the club, quieten them down a little bit. So it's all strategic. I'm just glad it's all over. Like in terms of the selling, it's been. I think it was November last year.
November last year. Yeah, literally, yeah. If you add the calendar months.
And it's just the noose around our neck. At least now we know either way what's happening. Will it change much? There's a slim chance, but it's not looking great. But at least we know now. Like if we carried on delaying it, it would have become more. The way the club is at the moment, it would have been even worse. At least now, the players know, the club knows, the manager knows. They can't use that as an excuse now. The sale of the club, they can just fix what's going on the pitch and try and move on in that direction. So it's not what most fans wanted, but let's see. Let's give Sir Jim a chance to see what he puts forward. We still don't know what he's put forward. So yeah.
Okay. After doing a bit of research, you do realize this was Sir Jim Ratcliffe's third attempt. He tried to buy Chelsea, he failed. He tried to buy Barcelona, he failed. The reason he got into this situation because he offered the Glazers an option to still stay in the club. I don't think the Glazers really wanted to leave. I think they wanted to stay because I think Sir Jassim was going to buy them out, clean them all out, look like a broom, sweep out all the dirt. I'm now in control. I don't think they want to relinquish control of Manchester United yet. So when this guy is offering 25%, and they could still have the 75% or 50%, however they want to divide this cake into pieces and parts, this was a better option for them. So all that, they were just, like you said, Kate, they were just stringing us along. They literally were, they already knew from the beginning they were never going to give it to Sir Jim, to Sheikh Jassim. They were all going to go with Sir Ratcliffe because he gave them a way to stay in the club. It's also power. It's power. And these guys love the power, holding the most prestigious club in the world with no trophies at ransom. Like, we own this prestigious club. And at the same time, they don't want to be removed. Sheikh Jassim was going to remove them completely. And as you said, from a business strategy, Vim, No businessman is going to pay for something worth more than it actually is because it doesn't make business sense. The club is worth 3.2 billion. He offered 5.8 and 1.5 to pay for a new stadium, training facilities, invest in the women and females, and they still said no. What more can the guy do? It just shows they never wanted to. So going forward now with Sir Jim in, if Sir Jim is the new guy, the fan base, some people didn't like the whole Middle East owning an English club. Does it even matter in today's society? Human rights, it doesn't really matter today, Vim? The whole thing about Middle Eastern owning English club, are we still in that mindset?
No. I mean, that's where the money is in the world at the moment, you know, and the way the clubs are operating with these astronomical salaries, you need a lot of cash, and you know, that's in the Middle East. There was a lot of sentiment against states owning a club, which is effectively what Qatar would have been. It would have been a state-owned club, and they could do as they please, you know, to sports wash themselves, to basically give them a cleaner image, to cover up their human rights atrocities, and you know, millions of workers that die building their country. Yeah, it's all probably a cover up for that. But you know, there's probably reasons why they some, you know, powers that be don't want states to own clubs. As far as I understand it, it's 68% of the club that is owned by the Glazer family, and the rest is open. 68%, and the rest is public shares that me and you can buy. So Ratcliffe's first offer was to buy out all of the Class B preference shares of the Glazers at 68%, and then keep the public shares in the domain, so we can still own part of that. Sheikh Jassim wanted to buy back the public-owned shares as well as the Class B shares that are owned by the Glazer family. For the 6 Glazers, 4 of them wanted to sell. The 2 parasitic ones, Joel and Avram, wanted to stay, and they are the ones that blocked this Jassim deal. So I was just going to add that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's initial offer would have bought them out completely. But it was a strategic move to then say, look, I'll just take 25% and then weed you guys out later on. It seems to be the strategy here.
Do you, Ben, do you agree with Sir Jim, this strategy of buying a little bit and buying another little bit later on? Because can you even see Avram and Joe relinquishing the other percentages? Can you see them? Can you see that happening?
No. I don't see it happening at all. Like I said, United is dead. It's over, man. It's over. I don't see how they come and buy United, and I don't see how Avram and Joe Glazer leave. I don't see how the Glazers leave. Why do they have to? I mean, they got what they wanted. They got the investment. That's what they've always wanted. I don't see how Jim Ratcliffe is able to buy the whole club. If he can't afford it now, then how will he afford a club that's going to be priced even higher in 3-4 years?
My point.
Yeah, it's how is he going to do it? Like if he had the money, he would have gone toe to toe with Sheikh Jassim. Let's be honest, because if he truly wants United to be better, if he wants to take control of United, he's going to want to buy the whole club. I would assume so. He just doesn't have the money. If he can afford it now, he can't afford it in the future. So, like I said, fans that think that this is an opportunity just him to get his foot into the door and maybe let's see what happens. It's not gonna. It's gonna take a couple years anyways to see changes in the new ownership. Anyways, it's over, man. It's dead. It's over.
Wow. Thanks, Benzi. Okay. Do you see? Can Sir Jim turn it around, or his agenda is to buy more shares with time? Can you see the Glazers and can you see Avram and Joel selling their part? Like, you know, Sir Jim, we're just gonna give you everything now. Let's move on.
I think the one thing that will change is they can't keep making the club getting more debt. This is why they're in the position they're in now, where they have to give up some investment or get some investment. So that's a positive in itself. Like they'll have to look at things and realize, you know what, we've been overspending. We've got to a point where we've had to sell shares now, and part of the club to get someone in. If they keep doing that, then it's going to come to a point where they're going to have to sell the whole thing. So there has to be some sort of change, whether it's a positive one. Time will tell. With Sir Jim Ratcliffe, this is the only way he was going to get part in the club. And like they say, it's better to own something than nothing. So it's like, imagine like a house. They have shared ownership in the UK to get on the property ladder. This is Sir Jim's way of getting in. And it's better to own some part of the property than own none of the property, just be paying rent. And it's a win-win for him. For Ineos, for him, it's putting his name on the map. Most people don't know who Sir Jim Ratcliffe was before they were talking about buying a club. So he's getting more press from it. He's going to get more exposure. His business that he's involved in will get more exposure. So it's a win-win for him. But for the fans, it's not the best outcome, but it's better than just having the Glazers there, in my opinion. So we'll see.
Okay, let's go. With him having failed, Nice Football Club has been a failure. He's failed in rejuvenating that club. He's invested and he's failed. He couldn't get Barcelona, couldn't get Chelsea. United seems to be going for places where he could find. It looks like he's been hunting for a club to put his money into, whatever you want to call it. Barcelona, Chelsea. He says he's a United person, a United fan, or what? That doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you have good intentions, even though if you're a local lad. A local lad still might have stupid intentions because you're still a businessman. Because of who he is, and he's failed the Nice Football Club, literally is on his knees. Is he going to learn a lesson from that club? This is a much bigger club. It's a bigger monster to deal with. Vim, do you think he can handle this club? This club is a monster on its own. Even the Glazers can't handle it. That's why they're like, what the hell?
It is a monster, and it's got a lot of inherent problems. Player power and all nonsense that we've been talking about for the past number of years, and that we've seen for the past 10 years. There's a lot of stuff going on. So yes, there's a lot of hassle for him. But Glazer total wealth is around 4.7 billion.
Right.
Ineos wealth is 30 billion. So he does have a lot of wealth that he can, spread around and perhaps pump into Man United if he really wants to make a success of it. I don't know what Qatar's wealth is, probably 300 billion or something like that, 10 times the wealth of Ratcliffe. But Ratcliffe is a local lad. What is he? Born in Lancashire, I believe it was, somewhere around there. He supports Man U, even though he wanted to buy Chelsea. He's 70 years old, right? If you're a 30 billion pound, wealthy individual, and you're 70 years old, you're either going to give all that inheritance to your grandchildren and so on, that can just spend it and be, spend it on nonsense, or you can invest into something that you've always wanted, which is to own the club that you've always loved. I'm hoping he has, which is in Man United. And if he knows that the Glazers are public enemy number one in the eyes of the fans, and this is probably him trying to maneuver them out in phases.
Wow. So as it stands, do you think United fans are prepared to give Sir Jim a chance? The size of this club is bad. Is a monster. But think about it. Sponsors they're not running away. They're going to gravitate more to United now that the coast is clear. Money's still going to be rolling in. The fans are going to still buy merchandise. So the Glazers it's a win-win-win for the Glazers. Either ways, the fans are still going to fill up Old Trafford. They're not going to be hitting the pocket. So, okay, in this situation, I think the Glazers have done a great job here. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like you said, it's a win-win. The interesting thing is going to see, they're saying he's going to get sport and control, so what does that mean? Is he going to have influence on transfers, the debt, the training ground? It's still all up in the air. And is he Is he getting 25% of the stake of the Glazers share of the whole club? Like, what's going to happen with the debt? So I think over the coming weeks, we'll find out more and more of what's going to happen. Is Sir Jim going to be at each game? Because the temperature is going to be hot at Old Trafford. So if they announce he's going to be part owner, the first game, it's going to be interesting to see the reactions of the fan. Are they going to be hostile towards him? Are they just going to give him a chance? It's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's too early to say how much change there'll be because we don't know what the 25% of the stake he's going to be buying, and we don't know the sporting control. We don't know the descriptive of what that is. Like sporting control could be anything. Could be it could control the transfers. He could have no say in transfers. It's still up in the air. So yeah, time will tell. It's better than just having the Glazers, like I said earlier. So something's better than nothing. So yeah, we'll see.
Right. So with Sir Jim in charge now, I don't know if the fans are going to welcome and embrace him because of his localized fans. Do you think the fans are going to love him, or is he going to be the enemy of the state?
Well, from what I've seen, most of the fans wanted Sir Jim, wanted Sheikh Jassim. So I would assume that he's Jim Ratcliffe is an enemy to the fans. He's going to bed with the Glazers, and the fans don't want the Glazers here. So I would assume most of the fan base will be hostile towards Sir Jim. Time will tell how that pans out. But it was needed that it was a new, like, we needed new owners. Glazers should have completely gone. So, but I guess we just gotta wait and see. My question is how they say he's in control of the sporting side.
Yeah.
How does that go? My thing is, does he, like, when it comes to transfers, when it comes to buying plays, right? Buying players, does he make the final decision? I would assume that the Glazers will still have to approve the transfer funds, right? So
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, how does that work? If at the end of the day the Glazers still approve and say, you know what, no, we're not approving that amount of money to buy that player, how does he still isn't take leadership in the sporting side? Doesn't make any sense. If at the end of the day the Glazers still have to say yes or no, it makes no sense. Like, we need more clarity on the situation. It's just messy, man. I don't know what to say.
Right.
A lot of questions need to be answered.
I hear you. Bim, if he's going to be the manager, if he's going to be in charge of the sporting side, what exactly is he going to be? What is it? Is he going to get rid of the chief, Richard Arnold, the negotiation team, the scouting team? What is he going to do? Sporting side, does he still need to report to his bosses?
Sporting director will change. Apparently, they're trying to bring in Paul Mitchell, so that means
might as well bring in Grant Mitchell.
Well, Grant Mitchell can be there to ensure that Ratcliffe doesn't get harassed by the fans. His bodyguard. No, but he will. Basically, he's taken over from. It's not going to be Joel Glazer FC anymore. Joel Glazer would basically sign off on the players that he wants, the players that he wants to keep, even if they're underperforming. He just picks the players that he wants that don't necessarily fit a profile that we need. So that's going to be removed, I'm hoping. And Jim Ratcliffe and the team, the leadership team that he brings in, will be in total control of sporting decisions. Players we buy, players we sell, salaries, all that kind of stuff. With the new sporting director, Paul Mitchell, he's pretty good. I'm hoping that we'll start seeing some better signings, and you know, we get the data analytics team as well to do what City does, to do what Liverpool do, in finding the right people, the right players to bring in. And I'm hoping the salary structure is going to change. But you know, this is a big wish list. We don't know. We know the club's in dire straits. It needs help, and it needs expertise. What we don't have is expertise everywhere. We've got Ten Hag, who's the coach, who's handling, you know, playing style and formation, and you know, how players set up. But he's also having to do too much in terms of recruitment and, you know, the fitness and the physio staff and all that stuff. We need expertise in all of those different areas to help the club get to where it needs to be. And that's what we've been missing. That's what the clubs are missing, expertise in the right areas. So, we've got to try and remain positive. Otherwise, this is just going to kill us.
Okay.
As fans.
So isn't it who's our current sporting director currently now? Is it Darren Fletcher?
But
No,
well, this
Murtaugh.
is the thing, right? John Murtaugh has been at the club for quite a while, and he's got promoted to that position. Darren Fletcher has never worked as a technical director, so what gives him the qualifications to do that role for one of the biggest clubs in the world? He's not suited for that role. So that's another position that needs to be filled by someone who knows how to be a technical director of football. John Murtaugh is plying his trade at the club, and this is the bad habits that we have at the club, is that we allow people who don't necessarily have the experience to ply their trade, and they're not necessarily the best that we need to make this club successful. So I'm hoping that Ratcliffe and his leadership team can address those problems and get the best people for those jobs to make us excel.
Right. My UK crew understand the job, that terminology we use in England, OJT, on-job training, whereby you're literally learning the job. You not know the job, but you had to learn the job through
you're learning on the job.
Learning on the job, but you don't have any experience on that. Exactly.
Yeah.
Using this such a magnitude size of a giant as a learning curve. You can't, because it's this kind of situation, you can't afford to make mistakes. We can't afford to. So as it stands, the chances of being the next Man City, the next Liverpool, the next Madrid and Barcelona, the level that United fans are expected. So what happens to the new stadium rebuild? Okay, where are we? What's going to happen to are we going to get a new stadium? Are we going to get a new training facility? Is that included?
I think the best we can look at is the cheapest thing for them to do is the training ground and maybe increase the stadium. We're not going to get a new stadium with this.
Wow.
That's gone out the window now, in my opinion. The only positive I'm seeing with Sir Jim Ratcliffe is he's involved in sport with the cycling team, so hopefully we can use those resources. He didn't have a good first couple of years at Nice. This year they're doing a lot better the second. I think there was a lot of issues with the sporting director in there, the manager in Nice, and they weren't aligning with the players they want. It was a bit like when a club, the sporting director picks the players and they say you have to play these players. That was the issue at Nice. Whereas a club it's got to be aligned. Chairman, sporting director, manager, they've all got to work in unison. And if they don't, it's a recipe for disaster. So with regards to what Jim's going to offer, like I said, with Ineos and the cycling, they've been successful. I think they've had 7 wins in the Tour de France with that. So they've got some expertise in sport. So hopefully we can tap into that, because we've not done that well in any of our we've had so far. So
actually, Kay, that they've got expertise in other areas of other sports, because we haven't managed injuries well at all. Look at what we've done to Lisandro Martinez. We've pushed him out for another 3 months. We're playing injured players when they should be resting and when they should be doing physio, and we're bringing them back too early. So it's good that you mentioned that, because that's what we desperately need. People who are elite sports scientists.
Now, what's all this? There's an inquiry about. Why is that always our club that says there's an inquiry? You don't need to announce that to us. I don't understand why they're saying that. We're going to have an inquiry because there's so many injured players. It just feels like it's a way to blame someone for me.
Right.
Or to give the public a perception that we're looking into it, but really it's just a smokescreen.
I think it's a smokescreen. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Benzi, like you said, the sporting director, the sporting side of things, they said he's doing well in cycling and football. The demand for cycling is a great sport. An Olympic sport is great, but football is on another level. The demands are way too high.
When I say that, I mean in terms of sports science, nutrition, not the coaching side of it, more the sports science side of it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing, just like what Kay was saying, I think the only thing that I can see that could possibly be done correctly would be the sporting direct. Well, getting that structure behind Ten Hag. That's the only positivity that I see here. The structure behind Ten Hag, the negotiation team when it comes to negotiating transfer, probably player wages, or obviously the sporting director, the scouting team, all that network that works with Ten Hag. That's the only positive that I see. However, it's still you still need funds though. You still need funds to fuel this, right? You still need funds you need an amount of money every transfer window, not just summer. You need the January transfer window too as well. So my question is, where does that money come from, right? Is that money agreed upon by the Glazers and Sir Jim Ratcliffe? And then because I mean, at the end of the day, this squad needs in excess of, I mean, I think 3, 4, 500 is a million, maybe 600 million to even get to be a competitive team. I don't know where that 600 million comes from. Does it come from does it come from Sir Jim Ratcliffe's pocket? Because it's not going to come from the Glazers. The Glazers won't give us that much to spend. So how does that go? Does Sir Jim rely on the Glazers to keep the sporting side successful? I think so, because at the end of the day, it's still under the same umbrella, right? So it goes back to my point. How does this work if the Glazers are still in charge
Right.
with majority ownership? How does it work? It doesn't make any sense. Except you want to divide Manchester United sporting side away from Manchester United, the brand.
Well,
So
mate,
it just almost becomes it comes like two separate companies in a way. But if they're under the same umbrella, it's in the Glazers is going to have their say
right.
and everything. Yeah.
It does. That is a very good question, because you're asking, like, okay, would they still need to approve this? So can we categorically and fundamentally say we're not getting a new stadium? Vim, stadium, is it done? We're not getting a brand new stadium. Is that over?
No, but we have something here called Screwfix and Tool Station. So I reckon that we'll be visiting that and just patching up the roof.
Bob the Builder.
Bob the Builder. We're gonna have lots of Bob the Builders on the roof patching it up.
Damn.
It's pretty bad after Old Trafford wasn't selected as one of the grounds for was it the World Cup, upcoming World Cup or whatever that has been hosted in the UK, right? That's bad. We have the biggest like playing stadium, right? United, right? It's the biggest in the other UK, and we're not being used for the World Cup. Well, what World Cup was it again? I forgot. It's
2028, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Euro.
Euros.
Or was it
the
Euros? Okay, probably it's Euros.
Euros.
But yeah, but that's bad. That's bad. I mean, yeah, you could patch the stadium, but that's not a good look for United.
It's not the first time they've been overlooked as well. Whereas the City Group, they've invested in a 400-room hotel. They've spent hundreds of millions on the ground and so on. And so they're like the first choice venue for these type of events. So
Sheikh Jassim would have made this, would have fixed all this.
So,
but then again, how much are we handing over to the Middle East? You know, they own pretty much a lot of central London. They own Harrods now and some other prestigious venues. So, you know, are all of our great British assets going over to the Middle East? Perhaps this one is not now.
Well, that could be one of the reasons why. I don't know anymore. Listen, I just want the club to be great again. But obviously, from what we're saying now, it looks like there's going to be no new stadium, no new training facility at Carrington. It looks like it's going to be a Bob the Builder, Cowboy, patch up the work, renovate, patch up leaky roofs. It seems as well. Ken, welcome to the show. Ken, representing UK, Mr. Fortress, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, as always.
Right, we're gonna jump right into you. We've all just finished talking about the Glazers. As you all know, the Sir Jim situation now. Is the stadium deal over? Brand new stadium, Carrington, is it done?
stadium deal. Well, let's talk about the Glazers and the announcement first. Everyone's jumping
I'd love
up.
to hear this one.
Everyone's
So,
jumping up
yeah.
and down because of a piece of information that was released last night. Whilst it's valid information and it's legit information, it does not, however, confirm that the deal is done. There's no signing. I haven't seen any contract signed, right? How many times have we seen with transfers and contracts when they've gone, oh yeah, close. Man United are close to signing, or they're close to signing the manager, and it doesn't happen. So as long as there's no contract signed, still staying positive. There's nothing stopping Sheikh Jassim coming back next week.
Wow, look at this. This is breaking.
Yes. There's nothing stopping him from coming back tomorrow with a better bid. There's nothing stopping someone else, Amazon, for example, Google, coming in tomorrow. You know, with Sheikh Jassim pulling out, you know, people are looking, okay, yeah, it's Manchester United, biggest brand in the world. Let's overpay, you know, let's take a risk, take a gamble, you know. And see, sometimes we've all seen, I know it's business. We've all bought some of us that bought houses have bought houses. Sometimes people overpay. You see something you like, you overpay for it, and then you turn it into what you want. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not giving up hope. You know, I don't want it to be, it's not all doom and gloom until I see that contract signed. Oh. About the stadium, I've got 8 seconds. Let's see. Let's wait till the contract signed. That's what I'll say. Yeah.
Well, I see Ken as Mr. Fortress has turned this whole thing upside down.
Man.
He's 100%.
Because I see where Ken is coming from. He's trying to say it's not over until it is over, which I get. I think when the news broke yesterday, a lot of United fans were like, I'm going to the pub for a drink to drown my sorrows. It is what it is. I'm done, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Because we were so focused and believed this guy was coming to save us, take us back to the pinnacle of European and global football. Everyone's hope was on Sheikh Jassim buying 100%. We're going to be competing Man City, new players. That was everyone's vision. But the Glazers have a different vision from Man United. We need to understand that. They still are the owners, and they will decide who they want to sell to. And they still want to be having a say in this club. So, like Ken said, till they sign the dotted lines, but I don't think Sir James wants us to be taken for a ride. If the club is worth 3.2 billion, why should he overpay? Because if you think about it, he offered 5.8 and an additional 1.5 for new stadium. That's 7.3. And they said no. How much more can he invest? I mean, it's being realistic now. The guy is not stupid. He's a banker himself. He's a smart guy. Don't get me wrong. He's a very smart guy. And he knows, like, listen, 7.3 billion, and they said no. Come on, they're not taking a fucking piss at this point, really. Bim. We're going to shift gears quickly. From what Kenny said, where do you stand? He said it's not over yet.
I think it's completely right. You know, the door is open to other potential bids, and until this deal is ratified by the board, anyone can come in and make silly offers, because, you know, we know the Glazers, all they really care about is money. And just a bit of humor here, right? This is just a bit of a laugh. But did you ever hear about that conspiracy theory about the royal family being reptilian? Anyone heard about that? Yeah. I believe the Glazers are reptilian.
They call them the lizards, don't they?
Lizards, yeah, lizard people. Yeah. Because an eighth of the population hates you. You're public enemy #1 for the biggest club in the world. We've got over 1 billion fans. If you have that many people that hate you in the world and it doesn't affect you and you still hold on to an asset that nobody wants you to have, it makes me feel that they're not even human. Imagine 1 billion people hating you. How would that make you feel? You're a target for 1 billion people. You know, all it takes is for them to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Man United fan, aggrieved, you know, whatever. Can anyone, can you fathom that 1 billion people potentially hate you, and they're going to be hated more now with the ride they've taken us all through? So for me, they're reptilian. These guys have no emotion. Cold-blooded, parasitic reptiles.
Yeah, I think, honestly, from this whole journey, I think they were actually just taking a fucking piss in this whole journey. I honestly think in their mind, they never, like Kay said earlier, they never really wanted to sell this club. They wanted investments into the club. They never really wanted to sell. We assumed, but when this guy came and said, I'm buying it all out, I think they're like, oh, okay. We'll see. We'll add more money, ask for more money, and see if he's gonna sell, if he'll pay. And when he kept adding on and adding on, they kept rejecting and rejecting. They obviously didn't want
You can't do business with someone who's disingenuous, And these two Glazer brothers are exactly that. They're disingenuous. They're not trustworthy.
No,
they make everyone believe that we want to sell this club for and exit the market. But overall, it was just a game. It was a 1-year game to try and wangle something out of this, increase their share price, which they did. I hope it now tumbles. They stay out of the public eye. They wangle all sorts of ideas. They string along Jassim.
that's sad.
They refuse multiple bids from both bidders. They give Jassim a month for due diligence to look at all the club revenue and everything else to see that it's a viable deal. They gave him that. That's all announced. I feel that they've got certain media outlets working for them to make us all quite fooled as to what's really going on. You can't do business with these guys. You just cannot. So. And anyone should know that. And I think Ratcliffe also will be really wary of these guys. That if the deal does get signed, he's got to have it in black and white, in writing, that these guys, there's a definite pathway for them to leave and to sell the remaining shares. They've got to do that. And he's a powerful businessman in chemicals. I'm sure he'll get the right people to wrangle these parasitic reptilians out.
All right, thank you. Let's shift gears quickly. As you know, during international break, we always have all these leagues, players start to run their mouth, and these journalists seem to know when to ask these players when they're away from the clubs, information about the club. We saw Harry Maguire after playing for England. He did say he has been playing, the few times he's played for Manchester United this season, they have been successful. He can't keep sitting on the bench and play one game every month. If not, he's going to have a talk. Okay, is he threatening United that if you don't play me, I need to look for an option? And he actually said West Ham are a big club.
I don't think he's threatening him. I think he's realised now, like, you ain't getting any younger. As a centre-back that relies on a bit of pace, he's struggling anyway. So I think he's realising now, you know what, the clock's ticking. If I don't go now, it's going to be a problem. So I think he's realised that for him to preserve his game time, playing for England, just as a player, like any player should want to play. So I think he's realised now, you know what, I ain't gonna get in this team. The fact they got Johnny Evans in and I'm behind him, yeah, it's time for me to go. But he's got too much pride. I feel he knows he's on the way out, and I think he's just stoking the fire to see what comes up. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a loan deal in January. Would not surprise me.
Right. Okay. Benzi, John, come on to this one. Maguire said he feels he can't sit on the bench any more longer. Anytime he plays, United win. He's saying if they keep leaving on the bench, the club and him have to have a discussion. Where are we with this quickly?
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I was texting something. I was in the middle. Yeah, what's the question again?
Maguire. He said he cannot keep sitting on the bench and playing one game every month. Yeah. If the club can't start playing him, he needs to look at his options and they need to have a discussion. Is he threatening the club? Where do you stand with this?
I mean, yeah, I take that as a threat. That is yeah, he is threatening the club because he wants to play. That's understandable. Whether he's going to get that playing time, that's a decision that lies on the manager. I don't think he's going to get that playing time. Yeah, I mean, he's entitled to his his opinion, like every other player does. But at the end of the day, if the manager feels that he's not worthy enough, not good enough to play more games, he won't play. So he can talk all he wants to talk. At the end of the day, it's yeah, he might. I think just be fair. He just needs to go. Let's just be honest. He just needs to go. So hopefully they could find an agreement sometime in January transfer window, and he could go. Since this this sale thing is kind of come to this club sale thing is coming to a closure. Maybe we'll see some changes in the January transfer window. Who knows? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and at the end of the day, it still goes up to the ownership structure, and the structure behind the managers, if they can replace Harry Maguire in time, remains to be seen. So yeah.
All right. Ken, your friend Harry, is he threatening the club?
Mute,
Ken.
unmute.
Yes, sorry. Yeah. The thing about Harry is Harry will always he thinks he's better than he is. That's the problem with Harry. He just thinks he's better than he actually is. I mean, he had the chance to go to West Ham, didn't take it. The fact that no other big club or bigger clubs came in for him in the summer tells him, I don't know who's advising him. I don't know who his PA or PR is, or if he's even got a PR team, because it looks like if he's not talking, then his mum's talking on his behalf, or his brothers are talking, or his family. You know, just play football, just keep quiet and play the game. You know, just do your talking on the pitch. That's all you can do. He had a good game, and the only reason he's come out is because he knew he had a good game against Brentford. Just keep quiet. Just go, and that's how you get better. You know, stay away from the limelight. Get some clean sheets on the board. Get some appearances, and then people will start talking and go, "Oh, look at Harry. He's doing all right." You know. Yeah, I don't buy that interview at all. Shouldn't have done it.
Right. Okay. Harry, he's saying you think he's better than he's saying, is he threatening the club? Where's Kay gone?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. No, he's not threatening the club. I think he's trying to make himself relevant. He knows that he gets a lot of stick. He knows that his days are coming to an end at Old Trafford. He's just trying to keep himself relevant. And it's funny how he's done it after he's had an all-right game, because there's no way he'd be saying that if he was giving away goals or penalties or fouling his own players. So I think it's good that he's come to a realisation that it's time at United's done. So fair play to him. It took him long enough.
But the point that a lot of people are questioning, like he now said West Ham is a big club. West Ham is not a big club, but like you said, in his delusional mind, I think, like you said, he's coming to realization, like, you know what? Maybe it's time I'll keep. They're gone.
They won a European trophy, so I think that's why he's saying they're a big club. And I think he's saying in terms of the stadium they've got, I think that it's more to do with in Britain they're a big club, but yeah, it's just I think he's just being respectful to Moyes, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's bigging them up a bit. I see that. Right, let's shift gears. Don't know if you guys heard. You must have heard. TalkSport analyst Alan Brazil, who played for Man United 1986 and 1987. Whether his source is correct or not, he said a Man United player told his source the players are against Ten Hag. They were disappointed the way he handled Cristiano Ronaldo. They're disappointed the way he handled Jadon Sancho. That they are not with Ten Hag. That Ten Hag is like literally saying the dressing room is divided. Vimy, quickly, do you think this guy knows what?
I didn't hear that one, but is that his own opinion, or does he have some sources?
He said his sources. He didn't name any names. He said a Man United player told his source that the dressing room is divided. They are not with him because of the way he treated Ronaldo and Sancho.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this, touched upon this last week, that, is Ten Hag alienating players? And it looks like he has. And there is, we see some players playing and doing their best to perform for him and others not. And I don't know, we are seeing cracks here. The fact is that we could do with Sancho playing because Rashford is in such poor form. We could do with him having him back. And why is he not apologizing? All it takes is for him to go to Ten Hag, sorry, said what I said, let me back in the team. He's not doing that. So I think there are camps forming. there's definitely cliques in that dressing room, and there are some cliques that are against Ten Hag. And I wouldn't be surprised if Maguire is also part of that clique that is against him. So people are speaking out against him. And if you have these divisions already forming in his second season, then that's very difficult for him. He has to either get rid of all of them, all of the ones that are against him, and ship them all out and buy new players. But it's quite tricky to do when you're in the process of change of ownership. Capital is not going to be made so easily available so quickly. So he's got a lot of tough battles to fight. I feel sorry for Ten Hag. He had a fantastic first season. It's tough times for the club, and there's a lot of storms brewing.
Okay, thank you, Benzi.
Yeah,
the statement from Alan Brazil, the TalkSport analyst, saying that the players are not with Ten Hag. Where do you see this? Do you think the players are with him or they're against him, or is that just paper talk?
I think that's just paper talk. I don't think that that's accurate that the players are not with Ten Hag. It's kind of crazy why that came out all of a sudden. And it came out. I think it came out. I don't know if it came out after Scott McTominay got those 2 goals.
Yes.
I would say looking at the manner at the manner in which we won that game, it was the last 4 minutes effort from Scott McTominay. If the players weren't really behind Ten Hag, I don't think we win that game. I don't see how we keep pushing, because technically that win came from continuous they just kept pushing. They just kept going and going and going. Maguire doesn't make that assist if he's not behind the manager. I mean, they've lost so many games, so it's easier to just keep losing. The more you lose, the closer the manager is to the door, right? So why win a game and then restart that process again of the manager? Is it how long it takes the manager to leave? So I don't agree with that statement. I think the players are still behind the manager.
Right, that makes sense. Ken, players still behind Ten Hag? Alan Brazil, is he talking not out? Is he talking off his backside?
Yes, I think that's the best way to sum it up. I think it's just a fake news, basically. I'll just ignore that. Just to comment quickly on Sancho, I think Sancho just like Vim said, what is stopping him? And we need to find that balance. Some people are saying, Ten Hag's too strict. He doesn't know how to manage big players or players with big reputation.
Sancho's not a big player. I mean, in my mind. But,
well, people are quoting Ronaldo, people are quoting Sancho, quoting other people, De Gea, But on the flip side, do we want to continue this trend of choking where it matters, where players are pushing managers away? How many managers have we had now? We've sacked managers. We've even changed football directors. We've changed. Remember when Ed Woodward was there? Player power. So we've changed board members. We've changed managers. The only thing that hasn't really changed is the players. So about time they need to get a kick up their backsides. The fact that Sancho hasn't apologized, he just needs to go. I've had enough. If he doesn't apologize now, I think he's had enough time. He needs to go. We need to go out there and get someone that's really going to come in and work hard for the team.
I hear you. Thank you. Okay, are you with him? Do you agree with Ken and Ben?
What with players with Ten Hag?
Yeah.
It's normal that some players won't be with the manager at any club. If you're not playing, you're going to be one of those players that's unhappy. I think the problem at United is we're not doing well, so it's a lot easier to be unhappy. Whereas when you're playing well and you're not in a team, you can't really say anything. There's a winning team. You just got to take chance when you can. The problem is we've been doing rubbish. The Glazers sale's been going on. The Sancho issue, Anthony issue, Greenwood issue. So it's just all doom and gloom, and the mood around the camp's probably going to be not great. So and the problem with our club is the dressing room is not a good dressing room, because a good dressing room will sort this out themselves. It wouldn't even need the manager to do that. So for me, it's worrying. It just shows even more that is Bruno trying to speak to Sancho to get him on side? Has he tried? Has he not tried? Like, why is Sancho not saying sorry? Like, for him to not say sorry, and he's been extradited to the under-18s. He's not even eating with the first team. He's eating with the under-18s, watching their games. He must feel strongly about something. So I don't know. I think more will come out. Like it always is in football. In football, we always hear one side of the story, and then later on, when the player maybe retires or gets later on in the career, you hear another side. But by then, it's too late. So for me, like, the manager, you should always respect the manager. But there is times when I've seen players say, the manager was wrong, but I just bit my tongue. But it just seems like Sancho's quite stubborn. But yeah, it's just, I still think there's a lot of players that have checked out.
Right. Do you, Bim, do you think, how different is this from Mourinho and Ten Hag? Because Mourinho's one, the players went to the board to say they were not happy with Mourinho. Are we there yet with Ten Hag?
No,
or we're not there yet?
No, we're not. No, we're not. Ten Hag makes up his mind about players, and once he's made up his mind, he rarely changes it. He's a very stubborn fellow, from what I've told by Ajax fans. Probably not. No, you prefer that you change your opinion on people if they start making an effort, because you've got talented people in this squad, and you can't just make up your mind on a whim and say no, I don't want him anymore for whatever reason. The underperforming players, yes, you could do that, like Harry Maguire and so on, who I feel is window shopping or is making himself available in January to go to West Ham. So I think he's preparing that move. I think Harry Maguire will be gone. Ten Hag is very stubborn, I've been told by Ajax, and he rarely changes his methods. And I don't know if you're aware, but Man United are conducting an investigation into why there are so many injuries in this club, and they're investigating Ten Hag's methods. And that was released earlier today, because they're concerned that they've got 16 players unavailable already in 8 matches of this season. Why are they getting so injured? Why are they not being managed properly? Why are they getting injured? So there's an investigation going on into his methods, because our squad is depleting quite fast. That's there on the news. Yeah, it's not my opinion.
Right.
So yeah, Ten Hag, yes, he needs to get people on side to make this thing work. He's got to try harder.
Right, we've got to that point of the question time section of the show. Anyone got questions? Question time.
Yeah, this is for Ken. This is for Ken, man. Hey, Ken. I know we were talking about it in the group yesterday, man. I don't, and you mentioned it here today. I don't see how you think another person or another entity or another organization comes in for a bid, or someone else just comes in and swoops in and gets the club when they're not like registered. Or I think you'd have had to go through that process of exactly right. So it's at this point, the only person.
I like Auto Trader. I'm gonna bid the guy that wants the car. Like, this is billions. Like.
Yeah, exactly. It's you just I just don't see how that works. I mean, if I'll put it this way, right? If Sheikh Jassim hadn't pulled out of the race, then I'll believe you. But the fact that he's formally officially pulled out, I think it's over, man.
Okay. Let Karen respond.
Yeah. So what makes you think he's officially pulled out? Because of what you've read?
Well, I mean, it's
exactly. Let Case take his case. Let Case take his case.
No, I'm asking him. No, it's fine. I'm asking him. So you think he's officially pulled out because of what you saw in the papers and what you read?
And not just what I saw it from credible outlets.
Credible outlets. Okay. Credible outlets told you that what's the other guy's name even? SJR or whatever it's called. He's Sir Jim
Ratcliffe.
Yeah. Has already won the race. Yes or no? Wasn't there a story from a legitimate source and Sky Sports News saying that he was in the pole position to complete the deal? What happened?
You mean
It
just
wasn't as many
recently, or
sources,
you
though.
mean,
One at a
months
time.
ago?
It doesn't, whether it's recent 4 years
Okay,
ago.
yes. Okay, yes, yes,
But how many
yes,
sources
yes,
was that, though?
yes.
How many
So-
sources was that, Ken? It wasn't
so-
like now where it's like multiple sources.
Yeah, but that's the
but
thing. Yes,
It
exactly.
was
That
multiple
wasn't
sources.
It wasn't like
not like now, though.
Not
Not
like
like
now,
now, Ken.
but that's one example. Another example was Sir Jim Ratcliffe was going to win the race and give back some and have the Glazers in. That was confirmed from multiple choices as well.
Yeah.
What
But
happened?
see,
This is all rumors going around. That's all out. It's all don't.
okay. See,
Nothing
Ken. The difference today, the difference yesterday is that
One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah.
the difference this time period, right? The difference between is in this time around is that I saw it from Fabrizio Romano, who's a credible journalist. I mean, he's not the be all and end all, but he's quite credible. Yeah. I saw it from I think The Athletic. I saw it from ESPN. When it comes to United, right? When ESPN puts it out there, that's pretty decent. I saw it from Sky.
Did you see?
Right?
Did you hear from the Glazers?
You're not gonna hear from the Glazers.
Go.
There you go.
Wait.
You're not gonna hear anything from the Glazers.
So that's one. Did you hear?
The only time you hear from the Glazers is when the club actually pulls out the statement saying
exactly
right. Yeah,
that's what I'm waiting for.
Okay, but this is not like a transfer though. This is not like. Let me tell. Okay, every time that we've had transfers, transfer rumors. Okay, United have reached an agreement for so and so player, and it's been reported by Sky, by ESPN, by all these credible outlets. What happens? It's pretty much official. It's just we're just waiting for it for the contracts to be signed, right? Yeah. When it comes to transfers, right? Once it hits those outlets, it's pretty much done. This is the same situation. It's hit all those outlets that I mentioned.
It's not. That's where you're mixing it up. It's not. The player transfers is completely different.
But you were comparing it to a player transfer, though. You use the word just like when it comes to transfers. When you get all this, you say, okay, well, there's. Am I lying?
No.
Transfers as an example.
In terms of, that was an example to say when things are close, it doesn't mean that it materializes. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, we didn't hear from Jim. The Sheikh Jassim, that he.
We did hear from him already. We did hear from him.
His camp has not put out a statement.
Well, you're not going to hear statements from. You're not going to hear statements from them himself.
Yeah, but exactly.
Can I chip in?
Let's bring in Kay and Vim into this one. Vim, quickly. Go on, Kay. Kay, go first.
Go on, Kay.
No, they were saying with Sheikh, there's a confidentiality thing that you can't comment on it.
Yeah, but the fact that he's pulled out, he's now out of that NDA. If he was going to pull out, you sign an NDA. That non-disclosure agreement means that you can't say anything whilst you're in it.
No, it's not an NDA. It's not an NDA. It's something else.
It's equivalent to an NDA, right? So as soon as you pull out of once you pull out for any contract of sort, whether it's an NDA or a disclosure, whatever you call it, as soon as you pull out, you can put in a statement to say I'm officially out.
Ken, because it's not gone through with Jim Ratcliffe yet, he can't speak on it. Because it might affect.
What I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying to you.
It's not official. You just answered my question.
One at a time.
That shows you that he's pulled out because he's not said anything. Because he'll speak once it's been agreed with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Until then, he can't say anything. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Okay, Vim.
That makes sense.
It doesn't look as long as there's no sorry Vim, just to come in there. As long as there's no official statement from Sheikh Jassim to say that he's pulling out, or the Glazers or the club, Manchester United have not come out to say, oh yeah, nothing has been. This is all papers. Oh yeah, this is what we're thinking. This is what we're hearing. Anything you can wake up tomorrow, look at the paper. Sheikh Jassim has put in an official extra bid. Let me ask you then, Ben. Are you saying that cannot happen? Are you saying that? Can you say
I cannot see how that happens.
Let me bring in Vim.
As you guys will argue about this all night,
Sheikh Jassim upped his bid. And it was still turned down.
Okay.
He
Vim,
just did
So
that.
look, guys, let me
Let
just
me-
put some perspective on this, okay? So
Okay,
tier
go on, Vim.
tier one journalists, as you say, ESPN, Sky, and all have said Jassim has backed out of the deal. Okay, he's pulled away. So he's pulled away because his final bid's not been accepted.
Right.
What this basically means is that there is only one other bidder at the moment, and that's the 25% offering from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That doesn't become concrete until all board members, there's 11 of them, ratify the deal. So they've got to get together and say, do we want this? Do we not want this? Joe Glazer and Avram are in this board. Actually, no, Joe and Brian Glazer and Kevin Glazer are on this board. We know Kevin Glazer, Brian Glazer, and Edward Glazer, who's on this board, did want the Jassim deal. So they may well reject the SJR deal. They might want to really walk away from the club and cash in on their shares. So we just don't know how that meeting's going to go. Anything can happen. But what this also means is that if you are a billionaire, you have proof of funds, and you have a vested interest in buying the club, then you can actually make a proposal. And there's no reason to say, no, we're closed biz and we're no longer accepting offers. We know the parasitic brothers want 6 billion for this club, overall 100% value. That's what they're after. That's the figure they're after. And that's what Jassim said. That's what Jassim said. He cannot come to terms with a valuation of 6 billion. It's just ludicrous.
But do you believe if someone said 6 million, they'll sell it? Do you actually believe that?
I don't know. And maybe that's
Someone said
maybe
10
that's
million
what it
for the
takes.
Glazers. Do you think if someone said
I
10
think,
million
end
for
of the day,
Glazers,
right? No one wants them. So if you had 6 billion offered to you for 100% of the club, you take 68% of that. That's what you walk away with. That's plenty of money to secure
they've got
multiple
money, though,
generations.
they don't need more money.
But then what do they want? I mean,
Power and assets.
but
This is
they
what it's
can
about.
they can put that into an NFL franchise and make much more money.
Yeah, but after the bad press, who's going to want to let them in? They got in Man United in a freakish way that will never happen again in history. So why would they let that go? That will never happen again.
Okay,
But this is the thing, right?
Why
Because
would they come out then? Why would they come out and say that they're looking for a sale or partial investment?
Why do you think that was? Because they had an overdraft facility and they were running out of money. That's why they got rid of Ronaldo. So they said sale to get the fans on side, but all they wanted was investment. They couldn't come out and just say we want investment.
I don't think so, Kay, because they would have accepted the Elliott Group's.
I don't think that.
There's market forces at play as well.
One at a time.
1 minute. Why did Liverpool come out and say that they might sell the club and get investment? And then all of a sudden,
Liverpool didn't say that. Liverpool said they needed
They did.
investment.
They said sale or investment.
Did they? Okay, maybe that. But anyway, yeah. So the Elliott Group offered a significant amount of money to invest into Manchester United Football Club. The Glazers didn't take it. So we don't. The answer to all this is we don't know. We don't. That's why I'm not ruling out anything.
Yeah,
even if Sheikh Jassim comes in tomorrow and puts in a 15 billion pound bid, I still won't sit here and go, yeah, we're gonna get the Jassim's coming in. I'm not gonna be excited because the Glazers, we don't know what they're thinking right now.
No, but Ken, what I'm saying is, do you believe if they came in and said we'll give you 10 billion tomorrow, do you believe the Glazers will say yes to that?
No, I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that. I don't believe.
Okay, then how do you
That's what
believe
I'm
then? Then how do you believe that Sheikh Jassim will come in and get this club? Because it's
based
over,
on
man.
terms. No, that's where contract starts coming. If you can twist their arm and say, look, I'm going to invest. The Glazers, one of the Glazers was in Qatar during the World Cup, right? Why did he go there? Maybe to seek investment of something, maybe another business, or maybe nothing to do with mine. If you twist their arm and say, look, we'll give you this for, as part of this, your other business, if you sell Manchester United, there are so many things you can add on, you could do apart from the club, outside in their other businesses and other
Don't you think they would have already done that? Don't you think they would have already done that?
I don't think they have. I think they're just offering 6 billion for sale. The Glazers, you need to give them something up, not just money.
Okay.
Something that will help them in the future outside.
Maybe give them some nominal shares where they can still earn a revenue.
Yeah,
the thing is, right, what they don't take into consideration, the Glazers, what they don't take into consideration, they need to have a reminder of this, is that the fan base of 1 billion can hurt the company, and we've done that already. So I think that needs to happen again. That you literally boycott lots of things that they represent. Unfortunately, we have to stop buying their shirts, and we have to stop paying for MUTV and stop going to the stadium. No, but it did. No, not saying the stadium, they still go. but the sponsors were hurt. Sponsors started pulling out. So when you start hurting them where it really counts, which is in the pocket, that's going to make them change their mind, or potentially, because you know, it's so difficult to get rid of a parasite. You have to find where it hurts. And for the Glazers, it hurts in their pocket when you start damaging their business.
But again,
I know it damages our club, but you know, the greater good.
Let me come in quickly. I think United fans are divided. I think some are too passionate to boycott games. Some are too passionate to not buy merchandise. Some are too passionate not to watch MUTV. So if United fans are not on par, that plan of hurting them pocket is never going to work. Because think about it, you have those fans who have traveled from the Middle East to come and watch United. Do you think he's going to stay outside the stadium?
There you go. Someone like Bems is a good example now. Bems is like, oh yeah, but we're not going to go. If you give Bems now, prime Man United versus Man City.
No.
You give Bems Manchester United versus Manchester City.
Everyone will go to that game.
No, Ken.
Close to ETH. He's going.
No, Ken. I'm not gonna go right now. As in, if it's my way of playing my part in trying to get the Glazers out, I will do it. It's gonna hurt me, but I will do it. I've made the decision that I'm no longer buying any more merchandise from the mega store from United isn't going forward. I'm not doing it because I mean. It's gonna hurt me. I've not been to an actual game. You guys have been to multiple. I haven't been. That's a dream that I would love to achieve one day. But it's sad. It's sad.
Okay, I've got a question. What if we win the Champions League? Let's just say for some freakish way.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
But this is what's going to happen now.
The answer to your question would be no. I won't go. I won't go, Ken. I won't go.
Right. So obviously, if United fans all think like Benz or think like some of us really think, as in no merchandise, no going to the games, no purchasing MUTV subscription, not renewing our season ticket. Remember, if we don't, you see, and think about it. If Old Trafford is half empty, literally every game, like 30,000 don't show up, they will start to realize, okay, maybe. But United fans are not like that. No. They will still buy the shirts. They will still turn up at the megastore, match day, and fill out the megastore, fill out Old Trafford.
And that is why the Glazers won't go anywhere.
That's why the Glazers. And one last thing I'm going to say. Think about it this way. The sponsors keep coming to United, which means the Glazers really believe like the sponsors are not boycotting. The sponsors, even when Team Viewer left, Snapdragon jumped right in there. Think about it. They didn't even think about it.
It's cheap advertisement. If you can get into Man United to be a sponsor, how many people are going to see that around the world? People being pictured with it, not even watching the game live, just pictures of players, Instagram, whatever. And the thing with the people boycotting the game, if you've paid almost £1,000 for a season ticket and you don't go to a game, you've lost. You might as well just burn £50 note or whatever the price of the ticket is. How many people? You're not going to do that for a whole season. And that's why they did the thing with the pause under the season ticket. If you don't renew your season ticket, then you lose your seat. That's why they brought that in during the COVID times. They were smart in what they were doing.
Yeah, they put that in there. You don't renew, you're done, and it's hard to get back on the list because there's a waiting list.
Yeah, and the amount of people
didn't team viewers stop share value drop because of the sponsorship with Man United?
Yes.
So
that's why
they short
the contract.
I'll put it this way. I'm curious to see what the shares would be come opening bell Monday. What the share price would be come opening bell Monday.
A little bit because it was always overinflated. The only reason it went up is because people thought the Glazers were selling the club. It didn't go up because of the actual value of the club.
Yes,
so it was overinflated anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm curious to see what it's gonna be when opening bell opens up. What is it? 8:30 Central Time, US, I think, or 9 o'clock Central Time, or 9 a.m. Central. Yeah. I'm curious what's gonna be.
You know the other thing with that, people are saying they've lost money. They're already in profit. The club is worth more, like 10 times more than what they got it for. They were putting money in. So when people say they're losing money, they've not lost money.
They've not lost anything.
They're taking money in every season. The assets worth more than they ever put in. So they will never lose money on that asset. So
So
for
do you
them, it's
think? So it's okay. Do you think is it fair to say that since they never put money in, they've always been in profits ever since? Do
Most
you
of the time.
think for them for them to go, they would have to actually lose? The value would have to actually drop lower than
minus
what they
negative equity.
purchased it.
Yeah,
It has to be
definitely.
drop.
negative equity. Think about
So-
it. This
so-
club
so-
has
so
not
when-
won a league title in 10 years. They've not won a Champions
No.
League in 15 years. Sponsors
The-
are still coming to United.
So-
What does
Yeah,
that tell you?
the revenue has to
Glazers will
drop.
still win.
So that means this club has to drop below 500 mil.
The revenue of
In
the
value.
club has to drop. The year-on-year
That's not gonna
revenue of the
happen.
club has to drop.
Not gonna happen.
I don't see this club dropping into the 500, 400 million.
Ain't happening. They
can't.
It's not gonna happen. It
gonna
won't happen. Yeah,
Just look at the stadium. How much is the stadium
Yeah.
worth just on its own?
exactly. Yeah,
As an equity, like it won't ever drop that low.
that's very good thing that Kay said. I didn't think of
very
it that
good.
way. But
So
it's,
let's say this: we're gonna just have to wait and see what Sims, like Kay said, like Ken said, Mr. Fortress emphasized. We just have to wait and
I like
see.
Ken's positivity though. I love
Yeah,
Ken's
it
positivity.
is all good. We just have to wait and see. Who wants to go? Who wants to have the last word for the end of the show today? Who wants to have the last word?
I'll say it. Well, hey Ken, man, I like your positivity. I trust me. I love it. I love it. I wish I can be you right now. I wish, because being you right now would make my weekend much better. It will make it much better. Trust me.
Just whatever Ken's had, just have some of that.
Oh,
Positivity.
Share it around. Pass it around.
Yeah,
Ken.
share it around, man.
I'll be in dreamland, man. I'll be in dreamland. I'll be dream. You know when you're like in high school, right? When you're when you're in high school, when you're like still like trying to start dating girls and stuff, and there's this girl you have a crush on, and you're dreaming. Oh man, I would love to go out with this girl. You're dreaming of that. But the girl, like she's pretty much out of your league, right? But you always want to. Man, I think that's Ken right now. That's the way I would feel if I was Ken. I'm not saying that's what Ken is, but that's the way I would feel if I was Ken right now. But man, that's explained.
I've got a question for you all then. If, and this is for everyone, okay? So if Ratcliffe does get his 25%, can you see any positives out of this over the next decade?
Quickly.
I can't see it getting worse. I can't see it getting any worse than it is now. The way we are currently at the moment in time, I can't see it getting any worse, personally.
Worse as to performance, or just the way things are?
Just in general as a club, because the club's a mess. It's probably the worst. Honestly, out of all of us, this is the worst state the club's actually ever been in. I believe. At this moment in time.
I mean, in the 70s when United got relegated.
No, but I
back in
mean,
the day.
since I've been alive supporting Man United, I wasn't alive in the 70s.
Right.
True.
What I'm saying is,
I
and
agree.
even though but those days there wasn't ownership, there wasn't sponsorship like that. Sponsorship on shirts didn't come into the 80s. So, but in today's modern society, this is the worst state the club has been in, going as in when proper football had changed to a business. This is the worst state. Can it get any worse? Like Kay said, I don't think it can get any worse. The worst thing that comes to this club is get relegated. The club has not won a Champions League in 15, has not won a league title in 10. They're not winning trophies like in abundance. They're not the top team in England. They're not the top team in Europe. But sponsors still like to come and put in money. So the Glazers will still make money. We just have to wait and see. It's been an absolute great show today. Thank you, everyone, for coming. The UK crew and Bems holding the sole flag for United States. Gentlemen, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our show today. We've had a great time. I mean, it's a sad day, but like Mr. Fortress said, we have to just wait and see. From all of us, I want to thank you all. UK crew, Vim, Sienna, thank you very much. Kay and Ken, thank you very much. And the controversial one, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. You guys have a nice day. Glory.
Glazers out.
Yeah, you guys. Take care, guys. All right.